I lost my memory, and my parents told me I'm someone else. I was going 100 miles an hour on a highway road at night. It was the fastest I'd ever gone. The visibility was poor as it was raining, but I drove on without a care in the world. Suddenly, there was a bright light right on my face that blinded me for a bit. I wanted to slow down and put on the brakes, but I couldn't. In a fraction of a second, I could see a big truck in front of me, and I was about to crash. I covered my eyes and face with my hands and screamed, but nothing happened. So I slowly opened my eyes. My body was still hurting, but the truck wasn't there. I wasn't even in a car, but on a bed, and there were two strange people at my bedside. "Son, how are you feeling?" the man said. I was confused because I didn't even know him, and he was calling me son. "Who are you?" I asked in a weak voice. "We are your parents. You were in a terrible accident," the woman said. "The doctor said memory loss is normal. It took you 3 weeks to get up," she added. They looked loving, compassionate, and caring. I had no other choice but to believe them. After a few weeks, I was discharged from the hospital and was able to go home, but the doctor suggested bed rest for me to heal completely. We arrived at our house. It was a big house with a pool and garden. I couldn't believe I lost all the memory of such a beautiful home. It felt like it was the first time I was looking at it. My parents took me inside and walked me to my room. I laid on my bed to rest, and they left. The next few days, I got the best treatment I possibly could. In the mornings, my mom would bring me breakfast in the room. My dad would then take me for a walk around our garden. Then it would be my time to rest again. I read comics all day long, which was so much fun. Sometime my dad and I would even play video games. I was living the best life, but I couldn't still remember anything, and that was the only thing I was sad about. However, my parents consoled me that the memory will come back soon. A few weeks passed and I was feeling perfectly fine. I could walk on my own and I created new memory of the neighborhood and the roads. So one day, I decided to go out and take a stroll around town. As I was walking, I came across some missing posters at a bus stop, and something caught my eye. There was a poster with my picture, and it said, "Our son has been missing. If you see him, please contact the given number." I started feeling dizzy after reading that. I started getting some visions, but it was all blurry, and I couldn't piece them together. I had so many questions and confusion. I know exactly who to ask, I thought, and headed back home. My mom and dad were sitting at the coffee table in the garden. I walked straight up to them and put the poster on the table. As soon as they saw it, their face went pale. "What is this? What is going on?" I said in a loud tone. "You must be confused." Dad was trying to confuse me even more. "Don't even try to lie to me. This is me in the picture, and the number's not yours," I replied. "Okay, why don't you sit down first, and I'll tell you everything," Mom said. So I sat down and listened to her. What she said next shocked me. She told me that they had a son just my age that got into a car crash a few years back. They had robbed a convenience store and were trying to escape, but the police caught 2 of them out of the store, and the son tried to flee with the car. The police chased him, and while in the chase, the son crashed his car into a tree and died there instantly. Meanwhile, they had to spend 2 years in jail. They did their time and came to live in their ancestral house. One night, we were driving down the highway from the city. We saw that you were badly injured, so we rushed you to the hospital. You reminded us so much of our son, she said with tears in her eyes. Then my father started talking. We tried to identify you, but you didn't have anything on you that would help, he said. He told me that later, the doctor informed them that I might lose my memory and forget who I was. So they made a plan. Since they didn't know who I was either, they didn't try to search for my real parents. Instead, they planned they would tell me that I was their son, They wanted to replace their dead son with me. I was shocked and out of words. I didn't know what to say or how to feel. They had saved my life and at the same time made it bizarre. Finally, I gathered a few words to say to them. "Look, thank you so much for saving my life, but my parents will be here soon to pick me up," I said. "What? Did you call them?" Dad said. He looked worried. "Yes, I did. On my way here," I replied. They looked at each other in horror. They told me that if my real parents informed the police, they could be sent to jail for kidnapping. So they quickly went into the house and packed a bunch of stuff. "Your parents must be here soon. We have to leave. Take care, son," Dad said. Then they left. An hour later, my parents arrived along with the police. I didn't have much memory of them, but they felt familiar. I told them that my fake parents didn't harm me at all, but they had already left. Somewhere, deep in my heart, I was missing them.